Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ringside Wrestling Entertainment. This is Joel Perez here of Ringside Wrestling Entertainment, and we're here, of course, for your Monday Night Raw review for the date of April 2nd, 2018, and I think it is time, ladies and gentlemen. I think it is time to go on that rant. Actually, it's been time to go on that rant, but for some reason I have prolonged it, but we cannot prolong the inevitable any longer. This is just something that has been on my mind, and I'm sure, I am positive that it has been on your mind as well. Monday Night Raw and these feuds going into WrestleMania, there's no investment there. There's no possible way that there can be any investment, especially on Monday Night Raw, going into any of these feuds, because I know myself that I do not care about anything going on the Raw side at WrestleMania. The card could be great. We can be in store for some very, very good matches, and all power to them. They assembled a great card on paper. There's no way this show could be mad off of what we are going to see on the in-ring aspect of it alone. And of course it is. It's WrestleMania. You're going to assemble your greatest card. But where this show goes from being good because of the matches to great is how invested you are in these storylines. And for the most part, WWE has absolutely failed to invest us in anything going into these storylines at WrestleMania. The only thing really on the Smackdown side that I can say that I'm invested in is the Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn match going on at WrestleMania. Besides that, there's not really anything at all that is really of importance that I can really sink my teeth into as far as storytelling goes. Clearly, I'm going to be excited to see Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles, but realistically, can I say that as far as the storyline goes, that I'm intrigued in that matchup? Halfway. Halfway. They've done a decent job at building, but they could do a lot better, and it's going to leave it up to the go-home show to see how far they go with that tomorrow. So I'm really holding off as far as SmackDown goes, because we still have that last week, and they can really make a big splash as far as Styles and Nakamura goes. We know that it's a foregone conclusion. I'm invested in Charlotte versus Asuka because of the matchup. They're not going to do anything to build that matchup. They're on different brands, and besides 1 week where Charlotte Asuka appeared on SmackDown, it doesn't look like they're going to touch that ever again. And it's really unfortunate, but the only reason to watch that is because it's going to be a great matchup. The Usos, the New Day, and the Bludgeon Brothers multi-man matchup makes it harder to be invested in. As far as storytelling goes, they really haven't done anything too amazing besides the Bludgeon Brothers beating the crap out of the New Day and the Usos and then having to come together to beat over the irresistible force that is the Bludgeon Brothers. Not a lot of storytelling there. I'm not invested in that matchup by any means. The only reason the United States Championship match on SmackDown is worth watching is because of the fact that Rusev is in it. Besides that, I give no craps about it. Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, and Jinder Mahal have done nothing. Absolutely squash to invest me on that. So even as far as the SmackDown goes, I'm only invested in one matchup. One matchup out of 15 that are going to be on this card at WrestleMania. The Battle Royals, I don't care about. Those are going to be on the pre-show. The 205 Live match, I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't been watching 205 Live, and that's on me because I've heard 205 Live has been very good, and probably I would be invested in that matchup if I were to watch 205 Live, but I know that's going to be a great matchup, and WWE is wasting away and putting that on the pre-show, which is a mistake we will get to here tonight on the Raw review when we go into that. But you look at the Monday Night Raw side, and what do you have? Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. I could give less of a crap. It is built on divas, middle school, high school-esque bully drama that is something you would see in the Divas Division days of WWE. We are no longer on that. I'm thinking that we're supposed to be past that. And instead of going into WrestleMania with the feud focusing on your women's championship, something that is supposed to be built up as valuable around your division has been absolutely led to the wayside for this feud that is absolute pre-show level-esque garbage. Not invested in the matchup. That's probably going to be one of the worst matchups on the WrestleMania card. And I'm definitely not invested in the storyline at all. So that's the thought with that one. The tag team matchup, there's nothing to get invested in because we don't even know what that is yet. We don't even know what that is yet. John Cena versus The Undertaker, which we know what's happening. It's not confirmed yet, and it probably won't be confirmed until we see it go down at WrestleMania. But John Cena versus The Undertaker, the only reason that matchup is something worth watching is because of the amazing storytelling skills of John Cena. John Cena, on his own, has done an amazing job at building towards that matchup. I will tell you that I am invested in the storyline of that matchup due to what John Cena has done verbally on the microphone in these past 4 weeks or so going into WrestleMania. I can tell you I am invested in that, even though when the matchup does happen, I have no belief that it is going to be the best thing in the world because of the stage in their careers that both The Undertaker and John Cena are in. You look at what else do we got on WrestleMania? Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. What do we have there? We have Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, who are spinning absolutely awful, unrealistic, out of this world verbiage that you would have to be an absolute buffoon to believe. They are outlandish heels saying things that are absolutely crazy, that are, you got to be the most corporate, stuck-up son of a bitch to believe anything that's coming out of their mouths, to ever want to side with them. They're being heels, but they're not doing it in a smart way, in a sly, cocky way. They're just straight up saying that they are devious, that they are the devil. That's pretty much the role that Stephanie McMahon and Triple H are playing. I can't get invested under that, especially with Stephanie McMahon, who I legitimately want to see get off of my television. Triple H cuts a fantastic promo, but as far as Stephanie McMahon goes, I cannot stand the sound of her voice. I really cannot. Ronda Rousey, don't even get me started with her. They're having her go out there, according to the rumors, and talking unscripted. Somebody who has absolutely no idea what to do in a wrestling ring, who is still nerve-wracked by the look and sound of the crowd. You're having her, out of all people that you have on that roster who should be unscripted, you have Ronda Rousey go out there unscripted, and may I tell you, she sounds absolutely awful. And don't even get me started with Kurt Angle either, bro. This guy sounds absolutely pathetic. He literally had the same line to say today in this promo twice, and he still messed up and called her Rousey or some crap like that. Rousey Ronda Rousey. Some crap like that, and he still messed up. So how am I supposed to be invested in this feud, which has been an absolute train wreck? I don't know how the match is going to go. We don't know what Ronda Rousey looks like in the ring, but from the looks of it, she ain't much. From the few times that she's gotten physical, she doesn't look like much. And she got put through a table here tonight, didn't sell it well at all. You've had Ronda come out here, and instead of being the killer Ronda, after, like I said, Stephanie McMahon and Triple H are saying that this outlandish shit, that they're going to own Ronda Rousey, she comes out smiling. How am I supposed to get invested in that? And of course, then you have Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me with this one? We've known that this matchup was going to happen for a whole goddamn year before it happens. We know the result of this matchup for a whole goddamn year before it happens. We don't want it to happen for a whole goddamn year before it inevitably happens. And we're still on the same predictable, generic course that is going to end in the same way. WWE has tried with their pathetic, minuscule attempts to get Roman Reigns over, and it hasn't worked. I'll give them this. It's been a decent build. It hasn't been a bad feud, but there's no way I can get invested in Roman Reigns. It's just not going to happen. Unless the guy turns heel, which has been rumored, I cannot get invested in Roman Reigns. It is just not a possibility, and I cannot get invested in a lazy as all hell Brock Lesnar who really does not care about what he is doing, and it shows on television. It's just not something that I want to see. The whole year he's been coming out and having a miserable championship reign as Universal Champion, and it all culminates to this. It all culminates to Roman Reigns. You mean to tell me that he went against Braun Strowman and beat Braun Strowman in 9 minutes? He went against Samoa Joe and beat Samoa Joe in 7 minutes? Yet Roman Reigns can knock him off his feet and pose a threat with Superman punches and all this crap? I do not believe it for a second. And for that reason, I don't care about the feud. So, after summing all that up, how many matches out of the 15 matches at WrestleMania do I care about? How many matches is that? Two? Two matches. The Undertaker versus John Cena and the Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn matchup. That is absolutely ridiculous. And this just goes to show you a serious dilemma that WWE has with telling story and getting you invested and getting you to sink your teeth into and suspend your belief when you get there to that matchup. The matchup is supposed to be the cherry on top of the cake. We have no cake. The matchup is just going to be a singular cherry. And yeah, that cherry might taste good, but there ain't no cake under that cherry. And it, quite frankly, isn't what it's supposed to be. It isn't. And for that very reason, I can't tell you that this show is going to be a great one. It's going to be a good show. The card speaks for itself. There's no way the show can be bad at this point. But my problem here is that WrestleMania should and very well could be better. And it's an absolutely disastrous point that WWE, that you can really come into this pay-per-view and say that WWE has not put their all into making this the best show of the year. Not just when it comes to giving people the matches that they want on the grandest stage of them all, but when it comes to telling story and diluting what you have on paper into the big screen. We did not see any of that here tonight. It all came across as very minuscule, and it came across as lazy and mediocre, and it's your go-home show. That shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't be the case, but tonight, before you knew it, before the show was over, I can honestly come here and tell you that this show was garbage. This show was absolute garbage. Monday Night Raw has been hit or miss over the past few weeks, and this show was a more than solid miss. This show was absolutely terrible here tonight. Most of it consisted of promo packages, Monday Night Raw, hyping up Smackdown WrestleMania matches, yet these brands are supposed to be competing against each other. You had very, very garbage matches that you wouldn't want to see on any Monday Night Raw, but we've seen them here tonight on your go-home show to the biggest show of the year. Way to get people excited for WrestleMania with Sonya Deville versus Bayley. Way to get people excited for WrestleMania with Matt Hardy versus Goldust. Way to get people excited for WrestleMania with Elias versus Heath Slater. Where are these matches coming from? It's like you put a randomizer and WWE just picks name out of the hat. Or they pick names out of the randomizer. And it's like absolutely ridiculous. This is what we're getting before WrestleMania? Now, you shouldn't be giving away your WrestleMania matches, and thankfully WWE didn't do much of that here tonight, unless you count Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins as giving it away. I really wouldn't, but that was really the only matchup of esteem that we got here tonight on Monday Night Raw. Besides that Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins matchup, which was absolutely buried by commercials, might I add. Besides that, you really didn't have anything else of note here tonight on Monday Night Raw. Of course, you had John Cena. Of course, you had your Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar segment to end the show. But besides that, it felt like filler. 2 hours of complete filler besides those segments that I just mentioned. Not a good show here tonight whatsoever. And anybody who completely missed out on the WrestleMania build and said, you know what, I'm going to tune into the go-home show here tonight and see what they got to see if WrestleMania is worth tuning into. WWE did an absolutely abysmal job here tonight at telling you, damn, I should have been watching all these weeks, and damn, I'm going to tune into WrestleMania. If I tuned into this show and seen that this is what WWE was doing, I'd say, yeah, WrestleMania is a definite miss off what I saw here tonight, just based on that alone. But, I mean, WWE here tonight, they pretty much wrapped everything up going into WrestleMania. They could have done a better job at a lot of things, and I will mention what those things are as we go deeper into the Monday Night Raw review. We go in-depth analysis on every segment. But, of course, I just want to tell you guys to make sure to go check out all the other content on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel and to await the upcoming content because, like I have not been shy to mention on this channel in the weeks prior, this is a huge week for the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. There's going to be content flooding this channel. There's no better time to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't know what you're waiting for, but if there's a time to subscribe, it is most definitely this one. Make sure to take this opportunity not just to subscribe, but to click on that notification bell so you can make sure you get all the videos, not just the ones that YouTube decides to put in your subscription box, but all of the videos. When you click on that notification bell, you'll get notifications straight to your mobile device. You're going to get the Smackdown live review tomorrow, as well as this Monday Night Raw review, which you're watching right now. Preview and predictions on Thursday. Preview and predictions for WrestleMania, that is. Then you'll get preview and predictions for NXT TakeOver New Orleans, which will be reviewed on the channel. On Friday, you'll get those. Then, of course, on Saturday, you have Behind the Mic. That's where we cover all the biggest news throughout the WWE. Of course, we're going to be talking heavy WrestleMania info right there. Then Saturday night, you're going to be getting your NXT TakeOver New Orleans review and results right there. After that show goes off the air, and then Sunday is the big event. You're going to be getting your WrestleMania 34 review and results. So it's a big week. We might throw in some content on Wednesday. It depends what we get on Wednesday. Maybe we'll get some big news. Maybe I'll come up with a video idea right before the big show. So we've got a bunch of stuff to do. Maybe I'll even cover the Hall of Fame. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that necessarily, but I will be watching the Hall of Fame if there's something newsworthy comes out of that, which I doubt there will. But we will cover that, of course, if something newsworthy happens on there. It's going to be a big week for content right here on Ringside Wrestling. So it is a can't miss whatsoever show right here on the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. We talk everything the WWE, and this week is one of those weeks where we're going all in. So make sure to subscribe, make sure to like, make sure to comment. Of course, make sure to do all that because you have an opinion just like I do right here. So make sure to use that comment section down below to sound off and help out the channel as well. Because for now, we're going straight into your Monday Night Raw review. And Monday Night Raw started here tonight with Stephanie McMahon and Triple H face to face with Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle. So of course, like we always do, I'm going to play you guys the segment here that we seen between Stephanie McMahon and Ronda Rousey. Stephanie McMahon sent Ronda Rousey through a table here in this segment, but I mean, I didn't find it to be anything spectacular. It was realistically a lot of garbage, if you ask me, but I'm going to play you guys a segment regardless. Here it is, Monday Night Raw started off the show.
It's unfortunate because they really want to like you, and the thing is, that deafening roar of Ronda Rousey will become a deafening silence after Sunday. And it's because of the guy sitting next to you, Kurt. Intensity, integrity, intelligence. I've never disagreed with the first two. But since the day I've met you, the intelligence thing I've never got. This is Ronda Rousey.
Based on Kurt's promos, I don't get the intelligence either.
History. And you ruin it. You ruin it. You set her up for embarrassment. You set her up for a loss on the biggest stage possible at WrestleMania. And I just gotta know, Kurt, because this is a whopper, even for you. This is a whopper. I gotta know, Kurt, why? Well, to be honest, Triple H,
I'd like to know why. Why you would be so two-faced as to sign me with ulterior motives.
What a shitty line.
We signed you because you are what's best for business. But here's how this whole thing works, okay? My husband asked Kurt Angle a question. Kurt Angle, who works for me, he's my direct report, right? Kurt works for me. Kurt, who has already derailed your career and cost you millions of dollars. I don't know what you don't understand.
What millions?
About that, Rhonda.
Cost you millions of dollars and WWE millions of dollars, by the way. Thanks, Kurt.
How?
Kurt works for me. You work for me. I ask the questions. So who the hell do you think you are?
She's Ronda frickin' Rousey. She's an Olympic medalist, a UFC champion. And this Sunday at WrestleMania, she's gonna make you tap out.
Rhonda, just remember that you chose this path. This is all on you, okay? You are going to lose at WrestleMania. In the record books, your very first match in WWE is going to be a loss to me. And we all know, the world knows how you handle losses.
That's a pretty sharp jab there by Stephanie McMahon.
Hey, Steph, are you right or left-handed?
I'm a
And
righty,
she messes
of
this
course.
up so
Why?
bad.
Oh, I was just wondering because I still want you to be able to sign my checks after I
Listen to her stutter.
after I rip it off.
So please, let's save it all
Rip
for
what
Sunday.
off, Rhonda?
Before we go, we need to do the pre-match photo op, but it's not going to be like a boxing or UFC where it gets out of hand. We're going to do it our way, the classy, professional way.
I don't understand what the difference was here, because they still got in each other's faces. So Kurt and Triple H shook hands. Stephanie extended her hand to Ronda. Ronda didn't want to shake it. So that led to a bit of controversy. Stephanie was talking some shit. Ronda got closer to her face. Kurt tried to break it up. So Triple H cheap shots Kurt with the mic from behind. Ronda chokes Kurt, but Stephanie back suplexes Ronda through a table. So that was a segment right there. Realistically, nothing amazing. I did not give a crap about anything they were doing. Again, like I said in the intro, Stephanie McMahon and Triple H come across as radical and just downright like wily, overly cartoony heels. Like, are you kidding me? You're supposed to make it, especially in the 21st century. Everybody knows wrestling is fake at this point. You're supposed to make it so we can understand where you're coming from. As a heel, you still have a point, but you're still the bad guy. There are still points where you stretch the circumstances a little bit and you take the shortcuts. That's what makes you a bad guy. But here's the problem here. They're just making it so at this point, Stephanie McMahon and Triple H are saying, we're your boss, we own you, deal with it. We're going to change you, we're going to make you what we want because we ruin everybody else and we're going to ruin you. You forced this upon yourself, blah, 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 blah. Where am I supposed to side with Stephanie McMahon or Triple H here? I'm not. People are going to cheer Ronda Rousey. Why can't you make this an actual storyline that I can get invested in instead of making Stephanie McMahon and Triple H say outlandish things, which are probably true anyways? This is probably how Vince McMahon thinks. With, we own you. You belong to us. You're ours. And that's probably the WWE mentality. I can see that so much. But why would you want to express that onto television like that? How am I supposed to grip my teeth into that? Sink my teeth into that? I can't. I really, really can't, especially when Ronda Rousey isn't helping the situation with these garbage lines. Nowhere here did she look intimidating. She should have been staring down Stephanie McMahon with that great stare. That's when Ronda Rousey is great, when she gets serious. She shouldn't be doing any talking. She sounds awful on the mic. She sounds absolutely terrible. I can't wait till WWE sticks Paul Heyman with her after WrestleMania. Hopefully they do, because right now Ronda is not doing any favors for herself on the mic whatsoever. And Kurt Angle, I mean, he got that line of Ronda Rousey's gonna kick your ass. He sounded great there. But Kurt Angle has his very, very few selective moments of being great on the mic. I did not like any of this. I didn't buy it at all. Ronda sold the power slam through the table, or the back suplex through the table, absolutely terribly. The only good part of this, I'll give you two good parts of this, because my part is to give you the complete and honest truth here. So there was two things that I really enjoyed about this segment. One was the presentation. They really didn't highlight that at all in the video that I played for you, but the presentation was great. You had the coachman with the WrestleMania podium in the middle, two tables laid out diagonally, and both sides sitting across from each other. I enjoyed that. He had asked them questions that came across as very professional and as something that you would see from the people of this caliber. So it makes sense as far as that goes. I like the presentation of it. But what I did not enjoy was the fact that instead of portraying Ronda as a badass, you had her make silly smirks. And I'm not sure if this is WWE, but it's Ronda herself probably who's smiling, and she's still very green. Not even in the ring, because we haven't seen her in the ring yet, but as far as being in these promos with these professionals. You're in there with Stephanie McMahon and Triple H, at least, who know what they're doing on the microphone. I don't know what the hell Kurt Angle's doing. He seems to be completely out of it whenever he's on television. But as far as Ronda Rousey goes, she looks completely lost as well. And it's because you shouldn't be sticking her in these high-profile situations so soon. She's clearly too green. I don't know why WWE is throwing her out there like that. She looks terrible. She sounds terrible as well. So I don't know what the hell they're doing. Only good part that Ronda Rousey had here is when she grabbed Triple H and choked him. That looked great because she was giving him that evil stare that she has, that she does so well. But besides that, she sold the power slam completely terribly, or excuse me, I keep messing this up, the back suplex completely terribly through the table. She was like trying to keep back a smile and she was like holding her gut, and she was trying to give Stephanie McMahon that evil stare. She should have just sold it and knocked out. I mean, I don't know what the hell she was doing there. But I did not enjoy this segment at all. I found it to be completely awful, forced, overly produced television at that. And realistically, they could have done a lot better as far as this goes. Keeping Ronda Rousey more suppressed, giving her less lines, keeping her back. Because Ronda Rousey, still very new to this, still very green, and WWE doesn't seem to recognize that. She is a new competitor. I don't care how much money she's going to make you. I don't care how big a star she is. She's new to this, and she should be treated as such. Ronda said she wanted no special treatment when in her first promo here in the Elimination Chamber, right? She wanted no special treatment. Well, you're having her go out there unscripted? Are you kidding me? That sounds like special treatment to me, because you have guys who, you know, on their own accord would be able to cut absolutely fantastic promos on that microphone. You know it. Guys like Randy Orton. Guys like Samoa Joe, who does anyways. Guys like Seth Rollins, probably. Guys like that, they'd probably be able to cut great promos on the microphone, unscripted. But WWE chooses to hold them back, chooses to script them. And for that very reason, they sound, sometimes, guys who should otherwise be cutting great promos, they sound very held back. Ronda, out of all people who's new, who's green to this, you have her go out there and you have her unscripted. I don't understand where these people are coming from. I absolutely do not, but we move on here. For now, that is besides the point. We will discuss this further on in the preview and predictions coming Thursday. But we move on here, out of all things, to Bayley versus Sonya Deville. Yes, you move on from seeing Ronda Rousey, Kurt Angle, Stephanie McMahon, and Triple H to Bayley versus Sonya Deville. I must give WWE a round of applause. That is some of the most ridiculous booking I have ever heard in my life. But this matchup was nothing special. Sonya Deville still green as ever in this matchup. Oh my God. I want to get behind Sonya. Sounds like a great person. Listen to her on Chasing Glory, Lillian Garcia's podcast, on Podcast 1. And she sounds like a great person, but you're still green. Way too early did they call Sonya Deville up. But that is a rant for another day. We already went on a rant twice here before that. So just to get to the chase here, Bayley wins this matchup via roll-up. Why do you have to barely beat Sonya Deville via a roll-up? Why can't you belly-to-belly her? I guess it's because WWE wanted to do the post-match attack, which they did. Very, very typical. Sasha Banks came out and helped Bayley, out of all things. Last week they're brawling. This week, Sasha Banks wants to come out and help Bayley. But of course, it was due to her own selfish desires, because you had Sasha Banks come out, help Bayley, got rid of Absolution, and Bayley's pretty much telling Sasha, I didn't need your help. And Sasha's over here like, raise my hand, raise my hand. Bayley's like, I'm not going to raise your hand. I could have done this by myself. I wouldn't have said that. Bayley was getting her ass absolutely kicked by Absolution, but that is besides the point. Anyways, this leads to a brawl between Sasha and Bayley. Both of them are attacking each other because it seems like these two women, they don't like each other anymore, and that's going to be highlighted out of all places in the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, which is now confirmed to be on the pre-show. Oh my God. Sasha and Bayley being captured through the pre-show. Great stuff. WWE, I must give you an applaud. What was supposed to be and what should have been your Raw Women's Championship feud at WrestleMania is being encaptured in a meaningless battle royal for which the trophy, don't even get me started with the trophy for the women's WrestleMania battle royal. I could get a better trophy in a goddamn JV high school volleyball game than what we've seen for the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal. It looks absolutely cheap and absolutely pathetic. And the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal trophy, it looks like it gets smaller every single year. WWE really not spending that much money on these trophies at all. Anyways, continuing on here with what actually happened, Absolution, they took advantage of the fact that Sasha and Bayley were fighting each other, and they cleared the ring of Sasha, and Bayley beat the crap out of them. So it looks like that is going to continue to be captured within the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, but the Absolution team, who are absolutely awful, stood tall here today. We moved on here to Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins. Before that, actually, the announcers congratulated Miz and Maurice on the arrival of their new baby daughter, and congratulations to them, of course. The Miz, with his great work on the mic, I'm not going to say in the ring, decent work on the ring, in the ring, but on the microphone, Miz, he absolutely deserves it. He has worked his ass off to get to the point where he is today. He realistically is one of those guys, you go back and listen to the stories of The Miz from earlier in his career, he is realistically one of those guys who started from the bottom of the barrel, and we're at the point in the modern day where he has truly worked his way up to the top. But that is besides the point. Congratulations to The Miz and Maurice. But we moved on to Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins. This matchup was absolutely great. I mean, it's Finn Balor and Seth Rollins in there in the ring. I'd go as far as to tell you that each and every single matchup that these men have had have been great. Even the one back at SummerSlam. I remember doing that SummerSlam review all the way back in the day of 2016, which was very early for the Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel. But I remember doing that review, and that review, I can honestly tell you, I was very, very pissed off at the fact that Finn Balor and Seth Rollins didn't deliver. Realistically, that was very jaded because they had a review of the Universal Championship, and everybody was going crazy because the Universal Championship looked like an absolute piece of garbage. And to this day, it does, but that is besides the point. We've all gotten over that. But that reaction, just the reveal of the Universal Championship for the first time, it was like everybody completely shit all over the match. Everybody was booing the matchup. Despite the fact that they didn't deserve it, they did some great stuff in the middle of that ring, and that's exactly what they did here tonight. But it seems like there's always some bullshit sprinkled over that matchup of The Miz, or not The Miz, Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, and that's exactly what was sprinkled over this match here tonight, because WWE wouldn't stop with the commercial breaks. It was commercial after commercial after commercial. Absolutely relentless stuff here tonight with the commercials during this matchup. This is the one matchup here tonight on this show that you advertise, that people want to see, and what do you do with it? You put commercial over commercial over commercial over it, and it comes across as absolutely ridiculous. They even went to the far extremes to put an advertisement during the middle of the matchup. They did one of those things they do with the screen on Smackdown where you look at something else during the commercial. They did it during the middle of the matchup. It wasn't even an official commercial. It was them, and they put a promo package for Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles over the goddamn match. Are you kidding me? Does WWE not want you to enjoy and see this matchup here tonight on Monday Night Raw? They want to jade the one experience that you're actually looking forward to on this show? It comes across as absolutely asinine, but this matchup did go down. Pretty good stuff. Great encounters and exchanges between both Seth Rollins and Finn Balor, and clearly Seth Rollins did stand tall here tonight. It was pretty obvious from the forefront before this matchup even started, because they did face off a couple weeks ago on Monday Night Raw, and Finn Balor won that match. So what does that mean? Seth Rollins has to win this one. And it makes sense because my prediction going into WrestleMania, a little spoilers for when we do the preview on predictions later in the week on Thursday, my prediction is Finn Balor. Straight off the bat, it is Finn Balor. I don't think the matchup is important enough that I don't want to give away my prediction, but My prediction for that matchup is Finn Balor, and if you win on the go-home show, the theory states that if you win on the go-home show, you lose on the pay-per-view. So clearly the Miz isn't winning the Intercontinental Championship. The fact, if he retains, I will be completely depressed at that result. But Miz is not winning the Intercontinental Championship, or at least I hope. Seth Rollins won this matchup. That means he's losing at the pay-per-view. That will open way for Finn Balor to win the Intercontinental Championship. And I think that bodes well for the Monday Night Raw men's mid-card division, because look at all the matchups you can have right there off the bat. You have Finn Balor versus Elias. You have Finn Balor versus Woken Matt. You have Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. You have Finn Balor versus a returning Jason Jordan. Finn Balor versus Jeff Hardy. Those are some great matchups. Finn Balor versus The Miz in a rematch. Finn Balor versus AJ Styles if AJ Styles comes over to Monday Night Raw in a draft, perhaps. You got a lot of possibilities there. You got a lot of possibilities, and I think WWE should definitely explore that. Anyways, we go to a backstage segment where Paul Heyman is backstage on the phone when Kurt Angle walks up. Heyman hangs up, and Angle tells him how important it is to make sure the WrestleMania main event stays intact. Heyman says they will go out to the ring tonight, but they will take it easy and save anything controversial on Roman Reigns for Sunday in the ring. Angle mentions being concerned for Brock Lesnar, and Heyman laughs in his face. Angle, and I was laughing in his face as well. Why would Kurt Angle, this is another reason why Kurt Angle comes off as stupid. Why would you script Kurt Angle to say something like this? He says he is worried for Brock Lesnar's health because he's at the mercy of Roman Reigns doing something to Brock Lesnar. What is Roman Reigns gonna do to Brock Lesnar? I was laughing my ass off. That was an absolutely ridiculous statement by Kurt Angle, and Paul Heyman was also laughing his ass off. Anyways, Angle asks Heyman to keep it civil tonight. Heyman says he and his client will take that into consideration. They thank each other, and Angle walks off with Heyman laughing in the background. Back from the break, Sheamus and Cesaro enter in the ring, and they're not worried about who Braun Strowman's partner is Sunday because they'll never be a real team, and they'll never get the Raw Tag Team titles. Braun Strowman, of course, comes out, and he says, "You want to know who my partner is?" So Braun Strowman goes to the back, and he says, "He's a lot like me." And he comes out wearing glasses and a white shirt over, and he's like, "I'm my partner. I'm Braun Strowman's brother, Brain Strowman. So since he's wearing glasses, clearly Brain and Braun. So he's Brain Strowman, and I completely lost it when Corey Graves he took off the glasses and he took off the shirt, and Corey Graves was like, "Oh my God, that's Braun Strowman." Like, no shit, bro. Absolutely great stuff from Corey Graves right there. That reminds me of stuff that like Jesse the Body Ventura and Bobby Heenan would come up with on commentary. Great stuff. That's Corey Graves' best commentary in a while. Commentary on Monday Night Raw has been absolutely god-awful as of late. Anyways, Brain Strowman seemed to be a fallacy, and of course WWE is going to wait till the reveal of Braun Strowman's partner at WrestleMania. It would be absolutely ridiculous to reveal it tonight. You don't want to reveal the partner tonight. You want to save the big reveal. You want to let people tune in to WrestleMania. That's what you want to do, and that's what WWE has done here tonight. They did not reveal the partner, but they did have a nice segment later on in the night. Just to mention this before I probably forget it, they had Kurt Hawkins, and this was actually a rumor that Kurt Hawkins would be the partner of Braun Strowman. They had Kurt Hawkins come, and he had a t-shirt on and everything saying, "Pick me, Braun." And he's like, "Hey, I want to be your partner." And Braun is pretty much like, "What's your win-loss record?" And Kurt Hawkins is like, well, it's not pretty good, but this could be my big break. And there's a wall right there. Braun Strowman tosses Kurt Hawkins through the wall, and he's like, "There's your big break." So there you go with that. There you go with that. It's not going to be Kurt Hawkins. Thank the Lord. Anyways, we go to Matt Hardy versus Goldust. Another one of these matches. It's the week before WrestleMania. What do you got? Matt Hardy versus Goldust? What type of joke is this? Why is Matt Hardy 3 weeks or 2 weeks or however many weeks removed from main eventing Monday Night Raw in the ultimate deletion position? Why, 2 weeks removed from that, is he fighting Goldust on Monday Night Raw? Why is he being disrespected and being put a couple weeks removed from that in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal? What sense does that make? If you ask me, not much at all. Anyways, that's the position Matt Hardy is in, unfortunately. And he did win this matchup. Okay matchup. I won't criticize it. They did some pretty good stuff. 2 veterans in the middle of the ring. They knew what they were doing. And ultimately, they put on a decent matchup. Matt Hardy won. Thank God. If Goldust beat Matt Hardy, that'd be another rant in and of itself right there. But Matt Hardy won with a twist of fate. We move on to, of course, the John Cena segment here tonight on Monday Night Raw. And he once again tried to address and call out The Undertaker. He came out like he has the past couple weeks, and he gave up hope, and he said pretty much, yeah, The Undertaker's not coming out. But of course, he resulted, and he gave in, and he tried to call out The Undertaker again here tonight on WWE television, because he didn't do it with Atlanta. He didn't do it there. So he tried to call out The Undertaker to little results. Again, this is another thing that I think WWE is saving till WrestleMania. And at this point in the game, why the hell not would that be what they did? Here's the segment. The Undertaker does not respond to John Cena. Raw, April 2nd, 2018.
I hate saying this, but I was wrong. I was wrong because we're out of time. And there's still no answer. So I was wrong. In this case, because we just have no more time left, silence means no. No Undertaker. But I wanted to take a second to apologize about The Undertaker. I did everything that I possibly could in the ring, on social media, trying to stir up as much as I could to summon The Undertaker. Hell, you guys did too. Audiences in Dallas, people in Detroit, people in Cleveland, right here in Atlanta. Wait. Did we really even try here in Atlanta? We didn't actually really try to summon The Undertaker, did we? That'll never work. I don't think you guys can be loud enough. Hotlanta, you gotta listen to me. If you want the lightning, you need to be the thunder. Let him hear your ass all the way to Death Valley.
Listen to that reaction. The people want to see it. They want to see it.
You hear that, Undertaker? That is 4 weeks straight of an entire audience, people around the world pouring their hearts out for you. And you don't have the common decency to stand up and do a damn thing. Am I upset about WrestleMania? Nah. Am I upset with The Undertaker? Hell yeah. You can ignore me all you want, but Undertaker, the second you ignore these people, you are a dead man walking. Hey, Undertaker. It's obvious that you left your hat in the ring, but it's clear to everybody here that you left your balls at home.
Great line right there from Cena. So no Undertaker once again, and that's exactly how it had to be at this point. There's no more complaining. It's not the way I would have done it, per se, but it's a great storyline. It's a great storyline. John Cena, he's been looking for an outlet to get to WrestleMania, and I hate the fact that they didn't play this part of the promo, but he explained something which quite frankly, needed to be explained. Now, I didn't bring it up because I didn't think of it, but this is a great thought right here, and it was a great end tied up. It was John Cena saying that he was asked by Michael Cole why didn't he join the Battle Royal? Why didn't he join one of the triple threat matches, the multi-man matches on this show? Why didn't you vie for somebody else? Go against somebody who needs it, right? Why didn't you do that? Or not somebody who needs it, but why didn't you join one of those matches? You could have gotten something easy, right? You could have done something at the show. You didn't have to be this way. And John Cena said, well, if I would have joined one of those championship matches, if I would have joined one of those battle royals, I would have been taking away an opportunity from somebody else. I lost. At the Survivor Series, I lost. I lost to Roman Reigns. I lost the Royal Rumble. I lost the Elimination Chamber. How many losses is that? How many losses is that? If I were to take the easy way out and join one of those matches, I would be taking away an opportunity from another superstar who deserves it. And that was the entire point of calling out The Undertaker. It would just be me and Undertaker creating one more WrestleMania moment the way it was meant to be. It would not be taking an opportunity away from anybody else. Undertaker has his business and John Cena has his business. And they were going to settle in the middle of the ring. And that's a great story perspective right there. John Cena is doing this as a last-ditch effort because he doesn't want to take the opportunity away from somebody else that he did not earn. And that's a great facet to this storyline that I really enjoyed in this promo. But they're going to save The Undertaker to come out. This match will happen at WrestleMania. They're going to cut to a segment where John Cena is in the crowd. He's having fun. Maybe they'll give him a microphone and John Cena will start taking and talking shit about The Undertaker, saying he wasn't here tonight, and he'll go to members of the crowd. Maybe they'll put in some plants in there and they'll take jabs at The Undertaker, and The Undertaker will come out and we'll see everything that we need to see. We'll see the matchup. Hopefully it will be a good one. I don't think so at this point in The Undertaker's career. I don't think so. But it's going to be some good stuff at WrestleMania. I'm invested in what they did here. John Cena has done a great job on the microphone. It got a little restless last week because I didn't necessarily know where they were going. And he was saying the same thing he said the week before. This week with that beginning part that they didn't show in that clip of him explaining that little false swoop right there. And now that I know where they're going with this, The Undertaker isn't coming out. We're going to save that towards WrestleMania. I know the direction WWE is going. Not necessarily the direction I would have had The Undertaker come out. I would have gotten the full-fledged John Cena versus Undertaker feud. But it really completes this storyline, not necessarily of John Cena versus The Undertaker, but this great storyline that we didn't necessarily expect to see going into WrestleMania, of John Cena not necessarily having a place at WrestleMania anymore. That's a great storyline right there, not having a place in the WWE anymore, and this is going to be the wrap-up to that, and I like that. I like that a lot. But that was great stuff right there. Besides what we saw between Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, that was all for Monday Night Raw. 1 week before WrestleMania, I can tell you two things about this show were good, and I wouldn't even say that Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins was good. I'd say it was passable just to the caliber of talent in that matchup. But this show did have a couple other things before we did get to the main event. Nia Jax was in an interview with Renee Young talking about how she feels about Alexa Bliss, and she says that Alexa Bliss has bullied her, and she's not perfect and she is big, but she's gonna squash that little bug at WrestleMania. Kindergarten storyline, kindergarten storytelling. This is not the Divas era anymore. This is women's era. This is supposed to be over a women's championship. This is supposed to be serious. This is supposed to be over a championship that means something. It isn't. The championship means nothing in this storyline, and if they did something right with Asuka versus Charlotte, it's that there are stakes on the line. That matchup means something. I cannot care less about this Alexa Bliss Nia Jax storyline. The women's championship in this storyline might as well be a prop. Anyways, Elias versus Heath Slater. What am I supposed to tell you about this? I'm not even sure if Elias is going to get a segment at WrestleMania. Is he in the Battle Royal? John Cena did mention that he is excited for a bunch of things at WrestleMania, whatever Elias is doing. So, what is Elias doing? Is he going to have a concert at WrestleMania? He didn't mention any of that either. I think he mentioned he's going to be doing something. I'm not sure. I am not sure, but he did point at the WrestleMania sign. We saw that little segment I mentioned earlier with Kurt Hawkins and Braun Strowman. We saw the Nia Jax interview, and that led us to another matchup that I'm dumbfounded by. Mickie James and Alexa Bliss versus Asuka and Dana Brooke. Asuka and Dana Brooke. Asuka might as well team up with a cardboard cutout. It would do more than Dana Brooke. Are you kidding me? Dana Brooke? You've got to be joking me. This is an oddball pairing if I've ever seen one. Dana Brooke is, she's gotten better in the ring. But she's nothing I necessarily am jumping out of my seat to see on Monday Night Raw. Asuka and Dana Brooke do win. What a surprise. Dana Brooke gets a win on Monday Night Raw 1 week before WrestleMania. She should totally be elevated into a women's championship spot. Probably do a better job than whatever the hell we're seeing with Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax, I'll tell you that much. Anyways, Asuka clearly gets the job done herself. Makes Mickie James tap. Kurt Angle stops Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman backstage, begging them not to do anything drastic tonight. Heyman says he's going to talk positive about his client's opponent. Trust him. So Paul Heyman does come out and he does talk positive about Roman Reigns. That's one thing. Paul Heyman has talked up Roman Reigns, made him sound like this great figure. Paul Heyman sounds like he's just as in with the Roman Reigns cocksucking as anybody else. He takes the mic and rips Angle for not having control. Heyman does the grand introduction for his client and brags on how Lesnar ended The Undertaker's streak a few years back. Heyman says two of the superstars who have a win over The Undertaker will clash in the WrestleMania main event on Sunday. This is getting nobody excited. Heyman admits Reigns deserves some respect, but the truth is Lesnar will hit the F5 and pin Reigns on Sunday. That's not a prediction. It is a spoiler. It is the truth. Everything that we've heard from Paul Heyman before. Heyman says if somehow Lesnar gets hurt and does lose on Sunday, if he slips on a banana peel, if he breaks his hand, if he breaks an arm, then this is the last time we will see Lesnar and Heyman on Raw. Heyman says he will save his own goodbyes for social media, but Lesnar will be saying hello to us from the UFC. Heyman goes on and mentions how Lesnar doesn't think one guy in the back can shine his boots or hold his jacket. Heyman goes on with the praise for Lesnar, so he pretty much, I don't know why this article that I'm reading here doesn't mention it, but this was a great part of the promo. Heyman's like, people are always talking about my client and how he doesn't give a crap about anybody in that locker room, how he doesn't think anybody in that locker room can shine the boots of Brock Lesnar, how he doesn't think that anybody can step toe-to-toe in this ring with Brock Lesnar, how Brock Lesnar picks his own opponents to decimate and destroy, and he does not give a crap. He comes here to get paid. And for everybody who thinks that about my client, they are absolutely 100% correct. So, Paul Heyman goes on about Brock Lesnar. Heyman says Reigns will have to go home to his family on Sunday and admit he got victimized and conquered by Lesnar. Heyman says Reigns isn't the big dog against Lesnar, and this isn't his yard. Reigns will be another notch on Lesnar's title belt. Heyman says the truth is that Reigns is just Lesnar's, oh, they had to curse, bitch. The music hits and Reigns comes out to the stage. They do the brawl. This was absolutely pathetic. They had a list of superstars lined up, And Roman Reigns convinced him to step aside because Lesnar's just a part-timer. They had to throw that one at us. Reigns hits Superman punches on Lesnar. And so he does it easily, right? Reigns is able to do it easily. Hits the Superman punches on Lesnar. Lesnar's knocked down. And notice this. Picks up the Universal title belt. People start to boo. Gets F5 by Lesnar. People cheer. That's what the ending visual was going into WrestleMania on Sunday. Make sure to subscribe to the Ringside Wrestling News channel because for now this is going to be all on your Monday Night Raw review. We're going towards the big leagues, WrestleMania 34. For now, this has been Joel Perez, and I am out of here. Thank you very, very much for watching this video. We'll see you next time right here on Ringside Wrestling.